computer. Okay, recording. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome here, the group, and then welcome Marcelo. Marcelo is a friend, a colleague. He has supported me and an initiative. Yeah, many years. Yeah, I have his book signed by him, and I read it in Portuguese. So yeah. So he's a psychiatrist at the Federal University of Bahia. He's analyst member of the school, AMS, of the World Association of Psychoanalysis, WAP, and the Escola Brasileira de Psicanálise, EBP. Also, he holds a master's in psychoanalysis from Paris 8 and PhD in psychology from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. From 2013 to 2015, Marcelo was the director of the Escola Brasileira of Psychoanalysis, former director of the Juliano Moreira Psychiatrist Hospital, the largest in northeastern Brazil, and author of some books, The Madness Among Us and Selfie, Therefore I Am, and the new book about pandemic, The Confined Life. So thank you, Marcelo, for being here. Yes, so I will pass this so you can
put this here.
Yeah.
Let's go. I start talking here. Hello, folks. I will let this here. Like this.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
Are you confident
Yes.
or?
Yes. Now I'm better.
Okay.
Just
Yes. But I'm not. Okay. So thank you, Inez, and all NLS here in Toronto. It's not the first time. I think it's the third time.
Yeah, the third time.
I have
No, the
already.
fourth. Because one was the two that we recorded in. I think I have it in our channel. Then one in Lacan Toronto that you meet.
And one was yeah.
And now it's fourth. I think.
Oh, it's the fourth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know everything about Toronto now, but this is the first time, as a matter of fact, that I'm here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. And what I was thinking, I was talking with Inez, was try to show. We're gonna. I think that the most important now is know how Lacan begins thinking in topology. And we make, how can I say, a travel, a journey to the last Lacan knots. But first of all, we need to know this. I'll put here. Now, I'm trying to share.
Share the screen.
Let's share the screen. Yeah, where?
the green one.
The green one. Okay. And but I need to put this here like this. It's okay.
If you press
Okay.
at the bottom, there's a little kind of
Okay.
that you can press, and it goes full screen, so it will be better.
I'm sorry.
It's not full screen.
She said that at the bottom he can click something to go full screen.
Yes, so it is
Full
next
screen
to
here.
next to notes. Yeah, like the one to the edge.
But it's full screen. You mean not to see you? Yeah.
No.
If you don't want to see you, we can just
Full screen of the of the PowerPoint.
yeah, but I think he did.
No,
Okay.
No, you didn't do.
it opened in a different tab, so we're the only one seeing it, not them.
Oh,
Because
Okay.
the tab you're sharing with them is different.
So
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
No, they are seeing that because she shared that.
Okay.
You are
you know
seeing
how
the
to do
picture?
this, please.
Are you seeing the picture? Patricia, are you seeing the picture?
Yes, I'm seeing the picture.
No?
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Now it's okay. Okay. Okay, let's go. So I'd like to talk a little bit of the origins of Lacan's topology. And it starts with this. It's like a yellow submarine from Beatles. Or we can think that it is Pac-Man. Do you remember Pac-Man? But as a matter of fact, this is the first essay, Freudian's essay, to make topology with ego, superego, and id. So this is Freud. Freud, he starts with this. And what can we say in here? Freud is talking about ego, id. We don't have yet here the superego, because this is from 20s, and some years after, he put all together unconscious feeling of capability and the laws of the other. But at this time, the most important thing is to see that in Freud's mind, it's not ego, superego, and id without a kind of body. Because this is a little bit like a body, for example, or a cell, if you want. So we can see that what is this fact? This is what Lacan in Seminar 3, the first lesson, start with this. How can I say, can you help me? Em português, is o ser em sua estúpida e inefável existência. The being in its stupid and ineffable in English, I don't know. Oh yes, is the what is this? Is the human being, but is the body that separates from the mother and from placenta. So it's just this body through in the world with no with a hardware, but with no software. So without words, without images, without the perception of the other. Nobody tells the baby that the big breast in front of him, it's a non-me. It's a non-me. So it happens a moment as the baby, like Tarjan, say, you breast and me baby. It's the moment of a separation. But first of all, it's a matter of the breast and the baby. After, he will discover that there's a mother behind the breast. So what is the breast? The breast, from now on, it's an object, and we have the baby, the other, and the breast. And Lacan will say this, will tell us this in the English seminar first lesson. He will say that it's the baby who gives the breast to the mother, and not the contrary. We think that the mother gives the breast to the baby, but no. The first act, it's a concession. The baby needs to give the breast to the mother. Put it in the. So the real separation is the object separation. It's the baby and the breast. So the first movement in Seminar 10 with English is the baby gives, but not gives. I don't know how do you translate. Do you have English seminar in English? I think.
Yeah.
Do you hear? Because we don't have this word in Portuguese. In Portuguese, we don't have the word objeto cessível. It's a word, uma palavra que a gente inventou. In French, is l'objet cédible ou cessible. And in English, I don't know how they translate this, but is l'objet cédible. C'est-à-dire, I gave the object, it's a movement that starts in the baby to give this object, as a matter of fact, to separation, make a separation between the object. And so we have this this is where, first of all, we can, I better show here. This is where we can find the biological sources of the system. Meanwhile, Freud says that it's not the same drive and instinct, but both drive and instinct through all the works of Freud's work. We don't have this more clearly, but what Lacan will say after in his last teaching is that in this very beginning, in this moment here, we have already a body. So we need to think all this construction, thinking that there's a body, and what is here outside this body, we have the other, the words. So we have, this is like how can I say, an eye. You see, this is the eye, and here in this hole, we have the acoustic sounds, and Freud thinks that the perception is outside this body. And of course, we have the ego here. And what is the ego here? It's a kind of connection between the outside world and the the human being in its stupid existence. It's a little bit like this. And the ego try, as we know, to make, how can I say, the communication among the other and the feelings inside, the drives that are here. But the most important thing to understand Lacan's topology is that we have down here the eye, here the eye. We have here the acoustic window, but we have this kind of tunnel, a tunnel here that makes the communication between the outside world and the inner side body without the ego. Straight. So the ego, it's not a barrier, a wall to separate universal. It's helpful, and the ego, it's anything that can do this kind of moderation. I don't know, you can see this, but the most important is to see here that the ego, there's a lot of things that goes to the it without the sense of myself, of being me. And of course, if we have a communication between the outside world and the id is the place where it's called drive reservoir in Freud, but you know that is where Lacan will start thinking about jouissance, because jouissance needs a body. Here you can see jouissance needs the body, but when we realize that the ego, the ego can, as a matter of fact, make this moderation be between. But when we say we can think this hole here, this tunnel, we see that it's a little bit crazy, because it means that we have a connection with the words of the other, with the jouissance, without the ego. That doesn't pass us by the ego. And this is full, because one of the ways to think about what is madness, madness is think that the ego doesn't understand, but exists. For example, the voice from the other that the schizophrenic may hear, but it's a voice out there, outside, because there is no match between the ego and this voice outside. Lacan will say that the big problem is that the fool, the mad, the mad knows the truth. The truth is that the voice comes really from the other. So, thinking that the words that we hear and we talk are from our ego, this is a kind of madness too. It's a kind of madness too. It's the madness of thinking that the words belong to us. And the voice that we hear, everybody hears when wake up in the morning, without nobody in the room, may hear voices and make a dialogue with these voices. We do this all the time. But we have the delusion that we think that we are the owners of these voices and these thoughts. But as a matter of fact, it's the mad that has the reason, the right position. So everybody is mad, exactly because there's no possibility to hold this and to put here like the bottle wine, a cork, put here. It's impossible. We can try, but this is in what happens in Freudian theory. Okay. I have lots of things to talk, but I don't have too much time. So let's go straight to Lacan. And I need to pass lots of... This is very interesting because this is Lacan in Seminar 23. I would like to point out to you that in Freud's theory, the real has nothing to do with the word. There is a stage of primary narcissism that is characterized primary narcissism, not secondary narcissism, that is characterized not by the fact that there is no subject, but that there is no relationship between interior and exterior. So this is what this means.
We need to 1 second because something is wrong. It's not recording, but I start recording. Remember? I don't know why.
Yes.
Yeah, I start recording. Let me stop sharing. And then I recorded. Oh, see, remember everyone that I recorded? What is
It
recording?
is recording.
Yeah,
You are recording, Ines.
It's
Okay.
recording.
Yeah, and somebody's waiting in the waiting room, but I took it out, so I don't understand. Okay.
It's the other.
Yeah, because somebody's they are waiting. So
Also-
sorry, like sorry for the interruption, but they were people
Also, it
in
would
there.
be great if everyone mutes. Not everyone is muted, so there's some noise that is.
And their chat, they are okay. So is this meeting okay? Okay, so sorry that I cannot see you see 9 people enter. Okay, why is people in the waiting room? Sí, pero but I took out the waiting room. Okay. So sorry, like, I don't know what is wrong. Okay, because I thought when I took out
So-
the break,
So we can see that here, this is the last session, the last lesson of Lacan in Seminar 23. And Lacan will finish the most complex seminar, or the most complex seminar that with the knots, that is the Seminar 23, with Freud. That's the reason that I make the same movement to go to the early Freud and to see what Freud and Lacan they have in common. Okay. How can I? Now, keep here, perhaps. Well, this is very interesting, but I will briefly, shortly show you this. Okay. Everybody's are seeing this as a cube. It's a kind of cube. But actually, we are seeing this, the cube in this position, or the cube in this position. And we can mentally change the way that we see this. But what happens when we have this and our brain reads this or this? We have this perception, and we have two ways to understand the perception, okay? Always, when you have two ways to read, to solve, to understand a perception, we can call this subject effect. What is a subject? The subject is, for example, me and you, but the subject, we are only subjects when we need to choose the reality. For example, when a Jew is in the, como diz a câmera diz? I forgot the name in Portuguese. Vou te misturar a língua. O banho de concentração, que eles são mortos.
Na cámara
Lá. Yes, the gas chamber. When a Jew is placed in the gas chamber, there he's not a subject. He's just an object of the other. So, what is a subject? A subject and the effect of subjectivity is when we need to choose. We need to make a kind of lecture, and I can even change the lectures. So the most important thing here is to see that we have an image in two dimensions, and it's our brain, it's us to give the third dimension of this. So, and what Lacan will say is that to give this third dimension only is possible if we have a body, a jouissance body, because it affects us in the body, as I show you a little bit. I pass quickly. Let's go. So no, this is the L scheme. I will pass. Let me put L scheme like this. You know the L scheme, and now I invite you to understand that when Lacan starts with the red, the L scheme in 1953, what Lacan was doing before Seminar 1, -1, because we have the Wolfman as a -1. It's not published as a seminar, but it's a seminar. Okay. So we have Seminar 1 and Seminar 2. What we will have? We will have Lacan studying carefully Freud. And when he goes in vacation, when he returns Lacan in September 1954. Yes, seminar 3. He starts with the L scheme. So we need to think that the L scheme is the first Lacan's effort to understand the Pac-Man, the yellow submarine, because this is a lecture of ego, each, and superego. So L scheme is, as a matter of fact, a Lacan's tentative to get better the Freud's submarine. Okay, so from now on, we will understand that this is the way that Lacan will talk about the other that is here, about the ego that is splitting like Freud does in each ideal and ideal-ish. I think that how do you say this distinction in English? Ideal, ego, and ego ideal. It's like this in Freud. In L scheme in English is like this. And the most important is that when we start with reality and the imaginary at this time, because he will change the meaning of imaginary after, but we see that to have an ego, to talk with the other in this way, like me, I'm talking to you, and you to me, we are here. But we need to stay here in this conversation. We do need to forget the first relationship between the other and the S, the it. So that's the reason that here we have, we see that we have here a drive that, como se diz, pontilhada, that's here. He spotted dotted lines, but is dotted line here, but not here. So when the other faces the reality, the imaginary, this is the common sense of mental health. What is the mental health? It's being able to understand the signs, the right, left, high and low, and down and up and down, etc. So all this we have here. But in this relationship, there's no, because it's the unconscious diagonal here, we can see that we don't have neither the time, neither the space, because Freud will give to us a conference, is in metapsychology about unconscious, and there Freud will said that unconscious doesn't know the time and doesn't know the space. So a dream, we can make a dream that no, it was my uncle, but it was a cup of tea. It was today, but it was in the future. No matter. In dreams we can do this, and also in delusion. That's the reason that delusion and dream we need to make a separation, because it's close but not the same thing. We can't say that the way that delusion is in dreams is the same thing that when we are in a hospital hearing, knowing, and talking with a schizophrenic, for example. But in both cases, we can understand that time and space are not rigid, are not orientated towards the general, the common sense. Okay, I have a lesson of mental health with Eric Laurent when I was the director of one. I was the director of the Escola Brasileira de Psicanálise, and I invited Eric Laurent to be this. He made the conference as a guest, and after when it finished, I was driving Eric Laurent to the airport, and as in every city, we have long avenues to go to the airport. And so I was with him driving, and I showed to him, it's complicated. Here, you see this, com essa placa, this sign. This sign that tell us that in 200 meters, we'll have a radar. I don't know. Radar? It's a radar. So we have here a sign telling us that in 200 meters we'll find a radar. But I talked to him this because I thought it was bizarre, and he tells me this is wonderful because if somebody see that in 200 meters we have a radar, and he passes with 150 kilometers an hour, this is the crazy that always need to stop. If I'm driving, I see and I frame, and I see and I stop. I see the sign and then I stop. I have good mental health because I know. So good mental health is not. When we think about the law of the water, it's not good, having a good mental health is not a problem with the law, that the law says the truth. But we do need to respect the laws of the water if you're going to be in a world without being arrested, for example. But the law is there, and you know that in Lacan's teaching, transgression of the law is very important. It's the way that we will find the desire. The desire are ever in misaccording with the law. Okay, let's go. The problem is that here the L scheme, as with the cube, we have now the first topology essay, Lacan's first topology essay of ego, superego, and it, but this is 2 dimensions. So in Seminar 3, we can find this in 2 dimensions. But when this text, preliminary question to
The
treatment of psychosis, this text is, it's a conference that he pronounced at the same time that he was giving this seminar. But when he will publish this in 1966, what happens between 1954 and 1966? Everything, all Lacanian's topology was, so it could be a museum scheme, but he will say one thing that is very important, that this way, the imaginary diagonal, as a matter of fact, is not a line, but is a plane. A plane. So when he said that this is not a line, is a plane, he put the 3rd dimension in the L scheme. It's a little bit this. No, I will change this after I talk about this. Oops, how can I go? Oh, this is very interesting. This is just to see, to show you that when reality breaks, we have the other, the message of the other arrived here without the circuit of the meaning. So the voice here, we can say that this is the voice. Okay, without, this is, in French, is inconscient à ciel ouvert, open sky unconscious. Open sky unconscious is exactly when we don't have the diagonal of imaginary here, okay? Let's go. All this. So this is the L scheme, but here we have now the plane. So now it becomes a third dimension image. Okay, but when we go to here or to here to the infinite, okay, we know that every plane in the infinite, as a matter of fact, is a globe. Okay, so if this is a globe, how can we think about this? The globe is the reality, the plane of reality in the infinite. And we have here the superego, and inside the globe, the it, S. So this is what introducing this like a plane, it means. It means that it's like this plane will embrace this and give outside. The other as an outside. So is this. And when we have this, we can thinking about the object outside, and we have the drive, as in Seminar 11, that passes around the object of this, the objects of the other, without reaching. The most important is not to eat the object. Drive is make this the circuit to produce jouissance that was before inside as coming from the other. This is very important. Why is very important? Because, for example, I think that everybody knows what Lacan says about the schizophrenic, that he have in his pocket the object. What happens when we have the object in the pocket? Not here, but in my pocket. I can't use the drive to organize the jouissance of my body. To organize in a shape, a substance of my body, I do need to have an expression of the object. And this is what I'd like to show you here. Let's go here maintenant. Now, what is here? So this is the imaginary. As you can see that this is the L scheme, where I can find the other and me, but not the big other. The other as me and you. And the most interesting thing is that the it is here, supposed to be here. It is, as a matter of fact, here. But this is very interesting. Is that the it is here, but the me, I'm here, and the other is here. So it means that the id, first of all, passes by the other, and so after this point, I can understand that I'm a being. It's a little bit what we see here. We make a kind of mirror, the mirror thing, and so we can shape our body. Because when we was born, we never knew that we have 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. Seeing the other, I understand. I take I take the other as the image that I will tell after that it's me. When we placed a baby 10, 11 months, for example, in front of a mirror, the baby will try to see. There, behind the mirror, the only truth to him is that he is not this image in front of him. So, as Lacan says, it's okay, it's correct. We have the delusion, and this baby, from now on, will start a delusion to think that the image in front of him, it's him. But this is a delusion. When we have a mirror here, or here, a mirror, and I look to the mirror and I say, this is me, this is mad. This is the image of me. But when I say that the reflection, the image, it's me, is the being. What problem? I will try to organize all the jouissances that I feel in life in this being, imaginary being. But we have a lot of internal jouissances that don't give translation in the image in front of me. It's like Deleuze Guattari called this le corps sans organes, a body without organs. So we have. I don't know if in people here in the Zoom can see that there's a little ball, a rouge here, a red here. What it means? It means that I have a lot of jouissance and feeling that will not find a translation in the specular image. And this is so, but this diagonal, we call that is reality. So what we're saying there? We're saying that we have a kind of jouissance inside us that doesn't make part of the reality. So we have in ourselves all the problem that madness will reveal. That it's a little bit mad to have feelings that we can't say that this feelings is me or us, because we have we used to call us our image. Okay, so I don't know if you tem uma pessoa querendo participar. O que é isso? Ela participando, has enabled closed captioning. Não sei. Can you? I'd like to show this. No. Click there. It's more simple, more easy. Georges Canguilhem is a philosopher and medical doctor, very close to Lacan, and he used to say that no cure means return to the biological innocence. Let me explain a little bit this. Our body, it's supposed to give to us the truth of our beings. But when we start an ulcer, the stomach, even if I treat and I'll be okay with this ulcer, I will have a stomach forever. It's impossible to reduce this effect of jouissance given by the ulcer that make us understanding that we have a stomach. We can return to the biological innocence at this point. We never knew that we have a stomach. Of course, I thought I'm talking about the stomach and ulcer, but all the events that happens in our body that we can find a translation in our images that gives to us anguish. For example, one of the best known feelings is the first erection of the little little kid that he doesn't know what is this in his body, because he in the organization of his Jewish sons, that wasn't the programmation of the erection. But once it starts, like in Hans, little Hans, we can replace a moment before the castration, before the event of the jouissance that wasn't there. And so I don't need to do anything about this jouissance that is not my body. And that's the reason that Lacan will do this. This is the rest that escapes reality. No, here is better. So what can I do with this? I will, like in the optical scheme, put this in the field of the other. So it's not the rest of me, but it's what lacks me that the other will give to me. The other can give me what I don't have. So I put this red ball in the field of the other. This is what optical scheme in Daniel Lagache's text from Lacan may explain. Okay, now let's, how many time? I have time. Let's go a little bit more. Here, all this I can go. So, the problem is that when Lacan said that, all this I can pass, wait a minute. When Lacan tells us that the third dimension, the imaginary is in third dimension, the most complicated is to understand that it's not a simple plane. It's a plane like a Moebius strip. And it's very complicated because in a Moebius strip, I can walk here in the inner side and I will reach the other side, the outside. And if I've made a new circuit, I will be inside again. So when the diagonal that it's supposed to give us what is the other and what is me, what is inside me, it's okay when it's a simple plane. But when it's a Moebius strip, it's more complicated, as I can show you here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, this. What the English is here, because we can say little ounce, but if you have just 1 ounce that we don't know that if this ounce is inside or outside, it's horrible. This is do not know what my body is, because there's a little ounce that I don't know if this is part of me or this part of the other. Okay. So it's very complicated to see what is a body, what is an inner side, and what is an outside, when we know that our body is in a Moebius strip. So now you will understand where Lacan found this. In the very first tunnel of the submarine, which doesn't pass by the acoustic system and nor the view, the perception view. So there in Freud, we already can find anything that Lacan with his topology will find a Moebius strip. So when you read from now on Freud's second topic, think about the Moebius strip. So, as a matter of fact, it is not this that we'll find if you go to the infinite, but this, which we call Klein bottle. The Klein bottle is what happens when we make we go until the towards the infinite, but we're not a simple plane. We have a Moebius strip, and of course, the perception also will feel this. It's very complicated because from now on I can. It's impossible, for example, if what make a separation between me and the other is a Moebius strip is not possible anymore to see reality as one reality. For example, here it works if we look down, and it works very good if we go up here. But it's impossible to mix the two images. So remember, I started talking about this with the cubes. This is a reality. There's the reason that reality, Lacan, in all his theory, we can find the same, that reality doesn't work to define who we are. Unconscious is precisely the difference. So this I was talking. Okay, so we see this is the L scheme, but with the twist in topology reality. So we have the body interior and the outside, the other, but with this twist, this kind of extremity happens, that we have the body outside and the other. This is the other. It's not, but it's the other inside. For example, in a schizophrenic, sometimes we're talking to the schizophrenic, and we hear a clash outside in the street, and he can say, "You hear this? It's here in my stomach." Or the voices that is unable to understand that it makes part of him. You try to create a new organ to this jouissance of the other. For example, now I understand I have a chip here that somebody placed in my neck. That's the reason that I'm hearing voices outside. So as he don't have the separation of the object, he needs to figure out to create new objects of jouissance that doesn't pass by castration. Castration is a kind of treatment that we can do to this, but it happens sometimes, but not always. Well, so this is the only possibility that we have to keep the inner side, the it, separate from the other, is if we clip the Moebius strip. If we clip, because if you put Moebius strip in the L scheme, you'll find this. This is the L scheme, but with the Moebius strip. So it's not easy to be here and safe, only if you have cut this strip. This, okay. Until here, it's okay.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay. Let's complicate a little bit. Just now it's easier. Now we need to complicate a little bit. Now let's go to the Lacan's theory at from the 70s, the 70s. And there we have this, the real, the symbolic, and the imaginary. But this is what Lacan will say in the conference called the Third, that what really serves to put together real, imaginary, and symbolic is the imaginary. Because before, the symbolic was so good as the imaginary to define things. But now with that we don't have anymore the name of the father, we can say that the symbolic, it's a line, but without what makes this line solid to put together real, symbolic, and imaginary. So the real, of course, the real is impossible to make a knot with the real. It doesn't exist. But now symbolic neither. So that's the reason that imaginary in the last teaching of Lacan means the body, the speaking body, as we have a congress in Rio, a wonderful congress of that in Rio, where we talk about it. So now, with this kind of topology, we can understand that Lacan's theory of jouissance is split in three kinds of jouissances. Okay, let me try to show you here. For example, here is seminar 23. We have here imaginary, the real, and the symbolic. To make it easier, I put this like this. So what can we see here? I'll make here because it's better. We can see that we have three kinds of jouissance here. This jouissance here, this jouissance is between the imaginary and the real, but with no possibility to talk about this with the symbolic. So this is the jouissance like the other jouissance, in jouissance that we will never find with the words. But we do feel this in the body. The yellow is the body. So it's a kind of intrusion of the real in the body. And this is a kind of jouissance. And we have here a jouissance that it's supposed to be written like this. Jouissance is not like this that we will talk. I think that jouissance is 2 S-A-N-S, jouissance. But he called this jouissance, that is the jouir du sens. Jouir du sens, ça veut dire, it means that there's another way to serve of the symbolic that is not the common sense. For example, it's here that we can find poetics words, that is some kind of works that we feel in our body, but that means not big. It's not a big. That don't have a big meaning. For example, la langue. La langue, we have the symbolic. We do need the symbolic to la langue and the body, but in a different way, because now we have this not to communicate in the diagonal of reality, which is important, of course, is very important, but there's another way to to figure out what happens between the body and the symbolic that makes a kind of jouissance also, is when the body's, for example, now I'm making part of the you say, the PAS cartel in Brazil. So we understand, we hear lots of testifies, not testimony yet, is the candidacy, the passeurs and the passant, and we hear the passant by the passeurs. And for example, in the case that we decided to make a nomination of analyst of the school, it was precisely because we could capture in his history a point that the word was there just like litter to fix jouissance, but without meaning nothing. If the jouissance is it means it means it. If this is for the effort of translation, we are here in the symptom that I will tell you after this. So, and we have here the jouissance, how can I say, the phallic jouissance, that there is a jouissance that happens outside the body. That's why we call this the jouissance of the other, because you do need the other to have this kind of jouissance. Let's complicate it a little bit. This is very interesting. It means that we have here the body, imaginary. We have here the real, and the green one is the symbolic. But symbolic in this figure, in image, doesn't it's not able to make a Borromean knot. So he needs this kind of thing, the strip, the blue strip, that is the symptom. So the symptom helps the symbolic. The symptom, les symptômes, not symptom, but the symptom it has a part of the symbolic, but it's not good to communicate anything. It's only a kind of autistic use of the symbolic. We will try to keep the symbolic, but it doesn't work very well. But the symbolic, the mental health is here, and it's important. So the fool, he tried to make anything here to make real, imaginary, and symbolic together. And as I told you, having mental health is find a way to keep this together. It's not more than this, mental health. Mental health, Jacques Alain Miller says that anything like this, that mental health is being able to walk on the streets. Just this mental health. With this, no matter if it's a fool, a delusion, an hallucination, but if he is able to walk on the streets, it's okay. We don't need to go further. And we have now this kind of knots, Borromean knots, but now we see that it will make a kind of a swept. It goes swept to the right. So we can think this like three circles that can invade, turn and invade the field of the other. Okay? And when we put like this, Lacan will say that we have three holes. Holes and furo. Three holes. The symbolic, the whole of the symbolic is the death. Because as Freud said, death has no inscription in the unconscious. So the death, we can talk about the death, but like we talk about anything that we doesn't know. It's more easy to talk. Is my last book that I wrote is A Morte de Si, the death of myself, of the self, where I talk about this. So death is here, like a hole in the symbolic. In the real, we have the life as a whole, because when you see the universe with lots of substance, why sometimes it makes life? Life itself, it's a kind of hole in the real. We are a kind of world in the real, as we talk about. And the body is the whole of the imaginary. Why we see, and is a kind of mystery how we can have a body in the imaginary. So a whole. But it happens. We see that all our lives is trying to fix the body, staying alive, and avoiding the death. But so all the how Lacan used to say in French, le corps fout contre le temps. O corpo foge, timidico. Foge, escape, run away. The body will run away all the time. Now I have a body. In 50 minutes, it's another body. When we have more than 60, we actually know that the body is not the same. That body and time doesn't make good friends. But we have this, I think is very important, because here we can understand the three kinds of jouissance. So we have here this jouissance that we can say that is the jouissance of the buried other, l'autre barré, the other buried. It means that this kind of jouissance has nothing with the symbolic, but it exists. It exists. That's the reason that this jouissance is called also the jouissance supplementary. Complementary or supplementary in English? Complementary is wrong. It's more supplementary, because complementary, it could means that we have the whole package. It makes one with two. It doesn't help. And we have here the jouissance that, as I told you, the jouissance of the other that passes by the other, because symbolic is the other. The big other here, this is the symbolic. And we say that the more the real invades, occupe the body, the imaginary, the more we will have anguish. Anguish will, it's here in the zone. That's the reason that we can see that they are very close, the jouissance of the buried other and the anguish. And in in clinical with women's, this is all the time. We don't know if supplementary jouissance it's okay, or is a kind of invasion that is horrible, awful. Here in this, with this blue green, I don't know, more green here zone that we have, see, is the zone where we can, como diz devastação em inglês? The devastation, the women's devastation, because it's a place that the symbolic are not able to help. So the devastation here, the anguish and devastation are a little bit in the zone. And when the symbolic goes more with the, not inside, but in the towards the real, here we have the symptom. The symptom, excuse me, the symptom, not the symptom, the symptom. The symptom, that's the reason that in the third Lacan will say, would say that we don't need to make interpretations with which giving meaning to the symptom, trying to make an explanation of what is the symptom. The more you put words, more this become bigger, the symptom. So, and we have here, as I told you, where we have imaginary and the symbolic, the more the body invades the symbolic, we have here the inhibition. Inhibition is that we say that all the clinics in Seminole 10 passes among anguish and inhibition. Anguish, a kind of embarrassment, steps of inhibition, and we have even the act. When we go here, no, it's a little bit the same thing here. I will come back. So here, as I told you, the symbolic, if I put lots of words in the symptom, it will, as you see, it will make the symptom bigger. The anguish, the more I try to treat the anguish, the real with the real, like in psychiatry, for example, the real with the real, more I have anguish. Increasingly, because exactly. That's why we need to understand that sometimes the drugs are useful, but sometimes it's very complicated, because drugs can, instead of being a good thing, occupies a place that is from the symbolic. So I will show you. And here, the more I think about imagine the body in the words, the inhibition. So I will try to show which solutions we have in these cases. Let's go here. No, I prefer this. You can see that the more as symptoms reach the imaginary and the symbolic, this zone of jouissance, it becomes, como se diz, ele encolhe, diminui, ele shrinks, we can do it, shrinks. Yes, we have a reduction. So that's what happens when we don't try to put in the symptom more symbolic. So it's impossible to eliminate the symptom, but we can, in the cure, in the treatment, drive the symptom, this reduction in only jouissance. What it means that the symptom that before, when we start an analysis, was a blah 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 a story with, because the Oedipus, my wife, and it makes symptom. In analysis, we can reach the nonsense. That is barely a jouissance with the words, but it doesn't make this kind of worm here, of lesion that is the symbolic inside the real. And we can say that the anguish is the same thing. You see that the anguish reduces when it's arriving in the word zone. Okay? And the word zone is the zone of castration. So what it means? It means, for example, sometimes we have in women in analysis with a huge devastation. That is very difficult, to suffering, crying, and with broken loves, but really, really, really hard, because they are in this zone without the symbolic. It's sometimes not for every woman, not for everyone. Sometimes a kind of jouissance that accepts the other can fix anything, like motherhood, like not being with the jouissance of buried other, but a kind of jouissance that passes to a partner, to a it's a possibility, because we know that sometimes the symbolic may reduce the anguish. Psychiatry discovered this, and is complicated, because psychiatrists create a way of making an use of the symbolic, but not like psychoanalysts. Is with nomination, just nomination. So I'm here in anguish, and psychiatry, science, says this is panic attack, or I have lots of difficulties with to staying in the same chair, and no, this is TDAH, THD. So, and finally we find many stars on cinema that says to give the interviews and saying, I discovered finally what I have. I was a depressive, or I had panic attack. So it's a kind of use of the symbolic, but a kind of use that captures the subject with no subjectivity. It's just the name, the name nomination. But if you continue with this thinking, we have a problem. Is that inhibition? It means that the more we reach anguish, it disappears. It's not a good way to think about this. So Pierre Scriabin is a psychoanalyst. He passed away 10 years ago. It was very close to me. He was one of the best topologists in the Freudian field. He was, I was talking to him about this inhibition. So it means that we can go to anguish? No. In the inhibition, to reduce the inhibition, what science does is trying to fix the imaginary, the body, not to invade here. It's a little bit what Adderall, Ritalin, this kind of medications that trying to give a body, it's a stable body, and I try to think more clearly, for example. So a kind of stabilization of the symbolic with acting in the body, imaginary body. But we have another way to reduce the inhibition is when we are close to the nonsense, to the lack of symbolic inhibition, when it almost leaves the symbolic word. What we put here that can stop the inhibition is the act. The act of the analyst is exact because it's not interpretation with words, but with an act. What is an act? Is where words are not there. The words are not in the act. So the inhibition, that's, for example, we have obsessional subjects, very, very boring, and we hear the same stories. We need to cut. We need to cut in the middle of the phrase. We need to interrupt. We need to, because he will try to, no, but I would like to tell you more this. No, you're not understand. So we need to cut the obsessionals that are all the time trying to make a resolution of his inhibitions, procrastinations with the symbolic, with blah blah blah. It doesn't work. Yeah. So I show to you a little bit what I think about the way jouissance is there. I will stop sharing, and we can talk a little bit.
Judith Hamilton is right there.
Yes, Judith Hamilton. I hope that I can hear.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
thank you. This is most interesting. Could you go back to the diagram of the 3 rings and the sections between?
Let's go. Oops. Wait.
Keep going.
Oops.
Almost slide 45.
Yes, exactly.
Slide
We
40.
just arriving. This way? This one? Judith.
Keep going. That you
Is
have
this?
up there right now is slide 1. I'd like slide 43.
This?
Nothing's changing.
Oh, nothing's changed. Oh, wait.
Not that.
Now, is this, Judith?
Yes, good. Perfect.
Okay.
So when you mentioned about the body as the imaginary invades the real, we have the jouissance of the barred big other, right?
Alguém tá... Yes.
1 second, Judy, to see if
Can you
Yeah,
hear
Can
me?
I put this louder?
no llego. No.
No?
Puedo llegar con esta. Let me see. 1 second. Yeah, here's the hole. And I think here, I don't know the PowerPoint. How do I see?
el volumen de la computadora.
Yeah, here is the maximum. Yeah.
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 So
We can hear.
Yeah, we can hear. Yeah.
could you repeat?
Louder. Judy, can you speak louder, please?
Yes, I can speak loud. Can you hear
Perfect,
me?
yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
better.
so the body invades the real.
The body invades the real.
You have the jouissance of the barred big other, big A.
Here.
Yes. When you said that, you said no words.
No words.
So I wondered if an example of that could be when the mother holds a baby
The mother holds the baby.
in her arms, the mother feels a jouissance with
Feels a jouissance.
no words.
No words.
Okay.
Is that an example?
And so that, the second point is that reduces anxiety, anguish. You said if the mother can accept another, and that could be a baby in her arms, that reduces her anguish.
That diminishes the anguish.
Can talk about this. Thank you, Judith. Now I understand what you're thinking, would like to say. To talk about this, let's talk about babies and mothers and babies, okay? It's not that easy to understand how in my body it appears anything that is in my body, but it's not my body. And I can carry this in my body for 9 months. And after this body that was me is not body anymore, is the other. If we see this without the symbolic, is exactly what is the distraction of an object A. So the baby is reduced of being an object A. Okay, but we know what Lacan's in the Seminar of the Anguish, for example, he used to say that anguish is to be very close to the object with the lack of the lack.
Yes.
So because if I have the object, nothing lacks. So I need to have the anguish is the lack of the lack.
Yes.
Okay. So what happened? This baby is just an object A, for example, without the love, the semblance, the semblance of the object. Yeah. So it's just the woman, the mother, and the object. So sometimes she tries to eliminate this object that gives to her anguish, to separate from this object A. Sometimes some mothers may kill their babies or throw. It happens as I was director of the most important psychiatric hospital in Bahia. I have to have lots of women hospitalized in hospitalizations of women that kill their babies or kill. One possibility is eliminate the object baby. The other, for example, is trying to keep this object that is already separated in the body with hair, and this is the shadow of the object under her, and this is the melancholization of some puerperal states. Okay. Sometimes I have lots of I'm a doctor, and I have lots of friends in obstetrics that send to me their patients because they think, oh, I'm not sure if she will make a depression after the birth, and so they send it to me. And I hear this woman is very interesting. In general, they send to me the mothers, the pregnant women that are very concerned about this and they need to talk about this strange thing that is having a baby, or not a baby, an object inside her, but she's talking about this. And so it's a little bit ironic that they always send to me women that I don't think that they will have a problem after the birth, because they're talking about this. They're talking about this strange thing that is having a body that is not a body. So they're trying to give a kind of semblance of the object A. Okay, it's a way trying to, but in general, when I have in my clinic women that are pregnant, the only thing about the room of the baby, go to Miami to make all the shopping all the baby all the time, happy. No, it's so funny. It's so, I love to be pregnant. I'm a little bit careful because we see that it's lots of semblance and no place to the object. So we have to have a place to the object, a place to the semblance, but not try to collide to make as if it was the same thing. We need to respect the kind of hair extimacy which is in the states of puerperal states, because it's very complicated. So, for example, if because of giving a birth of a baby, we need to know, as Lacan says, that the baby it's a body, a real, but he have the traumatism of the world, the traumatism of the symbolic, first of all. So it means that when we come to the world, we're not just contingency or the real, but we are also inscribed in a prehistoric. My name, if I'll be, we have all the time stories like this. Oh yes, well, I hate when I knew that I was pregnant of you. Some others do. Does this? It's very kind after to keep a love relationship with the mother in this case. But as we say, is that symbolic helps the woman to accept. One of the names of the symbolic ways to treat this is very efficient, is the motherhood, the love motherhood. La mère, Jacques Lamillet say, la grand-mère, the motherhood with love. The love is a kind of suppliance, because love doesn't exist. The proofs of love exists, but love. Have you ever seen love? We have proofs of love. So the proofs of love is with the symbolic try to give a place to the object. What men are not able to support, to understand, is that their mother was also woman. So the mother is all in the symbolic, my whole mother. But when the mother is woman, is a woman, it means that there's a zone of this being, this being, that is not all covered by the love of the mother. It's very strange. That's the reason that humanity, mankind, never accepted this, that mothers are also women, that they create a mother virgin. What is a mother virgin? It's a mother that is just mother and it's not women. So easy. Now we have mother, we have virgin, and women, all the bitches that's why we have this separation in between the Freud discovered this between the dame, the saint, and the pute, the prostitute. The whore is it's a kind of making very, very separated, it's all isolated, the love of the mother. We know what it is when mothers love too much. It will be very complicated to this man, for example, to go towards other women. So they can desire other women, but it's very complicated to these men to love a woman which is not their mothers. So they are able to have 30 women. I have lots of patients that are one woman, what another woman, but are not able to be with the same. Because being the same, the unique, it means that I do need to love more than I love my mother. And comedy say, everybody knows the comedy, that is the relationships between noras e sogras, mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law. No? There's a comedy inside this because they are betting for the same object, and it's complicated. It's easy to the men are able to desire, but it's more complicated when they try to love. And women is exactly the opposite way of thinking, because the problem with women is not love. They love a lot. They are able to love. But sometimes to the desire, it clashes. It's not because how can I desire anything if to desire I need to let my position of object in the fantasy of a man. So it's complicated. So I have a friend, a psychoanalyst, that she wrote a book, and she say this is that women even pretend to love sex to get love, and men even pretend to love to get sex. It's a little bit like they play. So it's a little bit like this, Judith. I don't know if I answer you.
Yes, thank you. Very fully, very much.
I wanted to ask a question. I wanted to ask a question. You know, when you said that the clip of the Moebius, how would be that clip with the symbolic? You know, like because I remember the case that you presented about the housewife. No, that was that he was the in out, the in was in, the out was inside, but then when you say the clip, no, I wonder when the neurotic does the clip, or you know, like the clip.
It's a very good question. I don't know if folks here.
Did you hear the question? Everyone?
No, okay, so it's okay. Let's go there. Here. What we can say here is that if I walk in the zone, if I walk in this, in the zone, I'm safe. For example, I really don't know in English how do you say caperão, Chapeuzinho Vermelho is
Red
head.
Like a
No, Reading.
The red.
Red Riding Hood, Red Riding
Yeah,
Hood?
red,
Yes,
Riding.
Caperucita Roja.
Red Riding.
So in English is red
Riding.
riding,
Riding.
riding.
Hood, no?
Red Riding Hood.
Head riding hood. Yes, okay. After you should, for example, her grandmother said to her, being here, don't go to the forest because we will find the wolf. The problem is that head rabbit,
The little girl. The little girl.
the little girl, more easy, the little girl, all she wants is to find the wolf. So she goes to end zone here that she'll try to find the other sex, which doesn't exist. So we see that the problem, mental health may be walking here in this zone. But in psychoanalysis, for example, we know that if you go far away, we'll find the other. So if I go to the infinite, I will find the other, okay? So it means that we have a problem with the infinite, because the more we try to reach the infinite, the more we close to sweep the Moebius strip. So one of the solutions is trying to create symbolic, anything more bigger than the infinite. What is bigger than infinite? What? A being that, for example, doesn't know the time. He already exists, he will exist ever, even if mankind disappears. He lives everywhere, in all places, all the time, never die. God doesn't know the death, but as unconscious doesn't know the death. That's the reason that one of my masters in France, François Regnault, wrote a book called God is Unconscious. Lacan says this in Seminar 11. God is unconscious. So we do need to have anything bigger than the symbolic. And this is the name of the Father, the God. What is God? God is a fiction, because it's a fiction, but try to enlarge, try to make this bigger, this world that we can go. It's very good to psychology, but to psychoanalysis is complicated, because we know that if we go far away, we'll find we'll realize that the name of the Father is not sufficient to fix the world, and we do need other solutions to this. It's a little bit what what happens here in these cases. We need to think that if everyone is mad, everybody is mad, is full, is because the name of the Father, as a matter of fact, is not for the universal. That's the reason that in religions, any religion is God. No, my God is not your God, because it's impossible to have. So forget Palestinian and Israeli in Gaza, because there won't be a solution that makes both being one. Does not exist. Both have solid reasons to stay where they are. Okay, so Amos Oz, one of the best writers that passed away a few years ago, said this, that the problem in Gaza or Gaza, the problem in Gaza is that both sides are right, not because those sides are wrong. The problem is that the connection of the land is true. So it's a little bit this. The name of the Father is a kind of treatment of the universal, but it's a fiction. Sometimes it's okay, but for example, it's not okay the name of the Father to anyone makes a long analysis. Jacques Lamillère said a month ago that how somebody can think that he's normal doing an analysis. It's impossible.
Yeah.
How can you think that you're still normal if you're doing an analysis? It's impossible. This. So it's a little bit like this.
Okay, I think that thank you so much. Thank you, Marcelo. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And you know, Marcelo had his birthday this week, so we brought the cake. But we're going to have it in the restaurant because at 2 we have the reservation in the restaurant. But maybe we can sing everyone happy birthday. Okay? So happy birthday
to me. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Marcelo.
Happy birthday. Oh, thank you. Oh, so sweet. Oh, thank you very much.
I hope it's a Canadian thing that I think that you are going to enjoy.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow.
You can.
It's
a.
Oh, listen. It's wonderful.
This is the name of that is this here. Inush. Yeah, it's these little things that are from stones, but this is crystal. So this is from all of us. Yeah. So you will remember Canada.
Oh, thank you so much. I love this. I love this. I love objects.
Yeah.
When you go to my office, you'll find my office is full of objects.
Yeah. So you have one more. Thank you, everyone. We'll disconnect. Thank you for being here, and thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Ines, for doing this.
Okay.